Hello again, guys. I thought I'd do a new video showing some of the things I picked up. Haven't done one of these things in like over a year, I guess. But anyway, let's proceed. Take a look at some Blu-rays and DVDs. Picked this up. It just is a compilation of the ads for intermission at like drive-in theaters and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of stuff on there. The commentary I'm not too crazy about, and the little thing they added. But what's valuable here to me is the fact that they took all this stuff that was originally put out by Something Weird Video in 6 volumes and put it on Blu-ray. And it's hard to get the original ones, so I was glad to get that. Rap Troll, cool series. You know, we never watched this when I was a kid, but I started watching it in various places on one of the streaming channels. It was probably Pluto, I guess, a few years ago. But they bombard you with so many commercials now, I don't even fool with that anymore. I just went ahead and bought the DVDs. This is a complete collection of Rap Troll. And you know, if you like stuff from the 60s and war movies and TV shows, that's good. Okay, this is fairly new. This is the Dan Curtis Classic Monsters Blu-ray. And it features the 3 movies that actually he did more, but 3 of the main movies that Dan Curtis did for the made-for-TV movies: the Frankenstein, the Dracula, and the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If you like Dan Curtis stuff, you know, like Night Stalker and Dark Shadows, and if you're a monster kid, I'm assuming you do, well then that's good stuff. Okay, this is fairly new also. This is 3 Euro horror movies. Actually, they're all Spanish horror from Vinegar Syndrome. And that Curse of the Devil is the last Paul Naschy werewolf movie to come to Blu-ray in North America. And, you know, they have a lot of cool extras and stuff. So it's got The Curse of the Devil, and it's got Vampire's Night Orgy, of course, the Leon Klimovsky classic, and Demon Witch Child from Armando de Osorio. So really good stuff there. I can recommend that if you're into Euro horror. More Euro horror. This is even newer. Frankenstein's Bloody Terror, the 3D version. It's got the glasses and all that in there. And, you know, it's cool. It's okay. It's good to get, you know, the commentaries and different versions and all that. To me, still, the Shriek Show DVD presentation of this is probably the best. But this is great to have, you know, just to add to your Euro horror collection. And more Euro horror. Danza Macabra Volume 4. Italian Gothic. It's got Night of the Damned, which I'd never even seen before. The Devil's Wedding Night, which I love. I saw that at the drive-in. Not after it first came out, but like first run as a backup for, I think it was Ruby in 1977. It actually came out in like 1973 or 74, I want to say. But, you know, for years they ran older movies as backup features. Anyway, I saw it at a drive-in. And, you know, I just love that, man. Devil's Wedding Night. And Baba Yaga, which I had never seen before. And, of course, Terror Creatures from the Grave. That's one of the Barbara Steele classics. And, you know, with Severin Films, they put out good stuff. They did have a problem with the disc for Wouldn't You Know It, The Devil's Wedding Night. And But they sent me a replacement. It wouldn't even load. They said it was a problem with the lacquer or something, but it took them 2 months, but they sent me a replacement for it. So this is all good. And look at a couple comics here. Now the main comics I bought was a big stack of the old Sad Sack issues of the different Sad Sack titles put out by Harvey Comics from the 50s and 60s, and they're like first issues of long-running titles like Sad Sack and the Sarge and all that. But that is integrated into my collection, so I didn't pull all that stuff out. But anyway, I bought this as a lot, and it's got some oversized issues here with, I think, mainly reprints. But hey, there's a Neal Adams cover on that 5-star superhero spectacular. But the main reason I bought it was for that, because I thought I had all of these Journey in, or the House of Mystery issues, but this is in a different title, and I thought I had all the ones in different titles, but this is the Super DC Giant, and I finally got a copy of that. Great Neal Adams cover. It's got a new wraparound story, but it's mostly reprints. The point is, I'm really into all that, you know, the Bronze Horror. So I was glad to get that. And then another, I think this is the last issue of Super DC Giant. But anyway, basically I got the other 4 for like nothing, because I bought these in a lot, and I bid on an eBay auction. And I was checking around. I've been looking for this for a while, and usually people want a lot of money for this, you know, this House of Mystery issue of Super DC Giant. And, oh yeah, nice arrival date in pen there. I started to say date stamp, but just written in pen, which is cool. I love those arrival dates, man. So, very glad to get that, and I got a good deal on it. I got the whole lot for basically a little less than what I would have had to pay for just this issue if I'd have bought it on Buy It Now through an eBay seller. And let's see, odds and ends. From the 90s, the Vampirella fan club button, Vampirella Scarlet Legion. You know, I'm not really that into the Harris Vampirella stuff from the 90s. I've got all of it, but it's very secondary to the Warren stuff. The Warren stuff's the real deal. And I wish I had the original button for the Warren, the Warren Vampirella fan club, but I don't. I've got the Creepy and Eerie and all that stuff, but I never could find a decent deal on the Vampirella. People want a fortune for that thing. And some cheap Halloween toys. And you will see many more of them in the second part of this video when I take the camera downstairs. But these are some of the glasses, and I love those cheap Halloween toys, you know. And these are really cheap. I got like both of these for $10. So I had to jump on that. I've got some other similar items, you know, the old glasses from that time period. And some kind of unusual things. This is a cake topper. It's the gray version of the cake topper, I think, by the Wilton Company. I've seen it, different information on that. It's probably Wilton. And I needed that. I have that size, that's like 3.5 inches of the orange one, and I have the bigger one that's 5 inches. It's the exact size of the Pop Tops. But I didn't have that gray one, so I got a good deal on that. Here is one of the really hard to find small 1.5 figures, a knockoff of the MPC Witch. And these were sold in the Spooky Surprise grab bags in the 60s. You don't see those very often. That's a duplicate. But anytime I see those, if it's a good deal, I'm going to get it. So I grabbed that. Now this is, with most people, I don't think they would even realize what the heck. I know everybody knows probably it's a Palmer creature, but you don't see this color very often. These, I think it came out in the 70s just with the dart guns in really limited amount. This color and white are the two rare Palmer colors. And I got this for like 20 bucks. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was an auction. And the way the economy is, you can get really good deals on auctions. And I don't think many people know about just how rare this color version is, this tan Palmer. Glad to get that. Here's some unusual stuff. Mark's Monsters. Here's the Frankenstein. Notice the way that's marked on the bottom there. It's the date is barred out. Now, this is the way the ones from 1964 are marked. I think this is a rare color for the Mark's Monsters. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's just a repop, you know. And a lot of the repops are marked this way. I've got a bunch of green ones marked this way. They're probably by Plastimarks from the 70s or maybe the 80s. But I think this is probably actually by Marks from the 60s, from 1964. And let me show you the others, and then I'll explain what I'm talking about. Here's the Mummy. And it's the same marking scheme there. And the Wolfman. These are the only four. I got these in a lot from an eBay seller. They weren't much. I think I got them all for like $100. And I kind of took a chance. Not a big chance. I mean, that's some of the repops are nearly that much. But I think what's going on here is they switched the type of plastic at Mark's. Now, this is the original teal blue Mark's Frankenstein from 1963. You can see the way that's marked on the bottom there. It's got the Roman numeral for 1963. And this is the ones that came out the next year in 64. Now, I had all these as a kid. These aren't my original ones from, you know, childhood, but I went back as a collector and completed these collections of different colors and stuff. This is marked like those that I just showed there, that pumpkin orange. Now, these are the common ones. The teal blue and this newer plastic, heritage plastic or whatever, because Mark's changed its plastic, and I think they had some overlap in between, because you can see this is the flat color plastic. It's a little beat up, but you know, I mean, that's to be expected. It's very rare to find any of these that, I mean, this one's in nice condition. You find a lot of the ones in the teal blue, but they're usually kind of expensive, the original ones. But you can kind of pick and choose. But something rare like this, if it's what I think it is, you just take what you can get. And I'm pretty sure that what happened was when Mark's changed the plastic, they changed from teal blue to orange sometime in either late 63 or early 64. And they used some of the old lead-based flat plastic like these are at first and had a real short run of those. And then later, after they switched to the newer plastic without the lead-based paint to add pigment, you got this version here that's like slightly translucent on the edges, kind of waxy looking. It's just got a different look to it. But I think those are the pumpkin orange ones there. Could be wrong. You know, I thought it was worth a shot to go ahead and get them, though. And we'll take a look at some of this other stuff here. Action figures. Waited 2 years for them to come out with this, the Shock Monster from Trick or Treat Studios. That's a good figure. I really like that. The packaging is pretty good. I think that maybe, well, I mean, you know, it's good. It's not outrageously awesome, but it's pretty good packaging. And then kind of a companion piece to that, it's Beast of Blood, and it's got the axe. And it's the actual right size for an axe for that figure. There's the back. These are the Chamber of Horrors. Like that's the way they labeled them, Chamber of Horrors. And then got this dude here. I got him at Target for $10. Blow mold pumpkin guy. I got a bunch of new blow molds I'm going to show the second part of this video when I take it downstairs. Here's the candy bucket for Shock Monster, Chamber of Horrors. And, you know, I ended up with 3 of these things. I bought one from an eBay seller. Probably paid a little too much for it because it was one of those situations where you're not really sure how available it's going to be later. But I went ahead and grabbed it, and then I saw shortly thereafter, if I'd have just waited a little while, but you never know about this stuff. Sometimes you wait and you lose out. At Oriental Trading, they had those things for $19.99 each. So I went ahead and bought 2 more just to get the free shipping. So now I got 3 of them around here. And that's not a problem. I mean, you know, eventually when the supply wears down and there becomes a demand for them, I'll probably sell either one or both of the extra ones. Now, Frazetta Girls action figures. Here's the Vampirella. Great Frank Frazetta art. Very nice figure. And yeah, it's a fantastic figure to take out and pose and set up. You know, it's got a deluxe base and really nice looking. There's shows what's on the inside there. That base is really cool. And I just like to display mine in the packaging. Even these door boxes, you know. I'm not a big fan of door boxes. I like window boxes better so you can just see the figure when you set it up and leave it in the package. But hey, if it's got Frazetta art on it, I'm good with a door box. And then I got the Tigra from Fire and Ice. It's a Frazetta Bakshi movie from '83. And I really love that movie. I watch it periodically. And, you know, Tigra is a nice figure. And it comes with the Panther, Shaitan or whatever. And, you know, it's a great figure. Super hot Frazetta Princess, you know. Extra hands and heads and hair. The whole deal. Really cool. And the Conan is really awesome. I'm a huge Conan fan and a huge Frazetta fan, so this is just fantastic. There's the figure. I mean, they really did a great job on these figures. Really. I can't say enough about how good these things are. And the Conan doesn't come with any big bases or anything, but it was still $70. That was the price point they were trying to stay at with these. But now they come out with Necron, who's the villain from Fire and Ice. And it jumped from 70 to 110. Now, it does have a great throne. I mean, the throne is spectacular for that figure. But $110 it ain't. For me. I'm going to have to pass on Necron. All right. That's going to be it for there, and I will resume downstairs. Okay. We are back. Now this is the downstairs, and a lot of the newer stuff I hadn't already displayed down here, so I just decided to bring the camera down and show this, the new stuff and some of the old stuff. Okay, There's pretty much the display there. Basil Gogos prints. Paul Naschy poster for Mark of the Werewolf, Mark of the Wolfman. It's the French poster. So anyway, let's get to the stuff. I had a bunch of blow molds down there. People that watch my videos have seen most of this, but now there are the lamps. There's some candy containers from Rosen. There's one of the Horror Monsters grab bags. I actually have 2 of those with the contents. And I've said it before, when you see those things for sale, they're always bent down at the top and they claim they're sealed. Those were never sealed because on the back of them it says you have the privilege to examine. So even when they were new, they were just bent at the top probably. They weren't like it wasn't like they were glued. I think sellers do that just to hide what's in them, you know. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, bunch of the Tyco Toys heads. There's, like I said, the lamps and more of those monster glasses and blow mold owl and such. And there's a resin recast of the Glen Strange candy bucket by Clinton Plastics. People call it Clint Toys because that's what it said on the bucket. I don't have an original of that. Now there's a 3D printed small version of it. That's kind of cool. It cost too much, I think, but I went ahead and sprung for one anyway. And there is a giant 3D printed Marx Frankenstein figure. And that was kind of pricey too. Seems like everything you go to buy these days is pricey. But there's a Mold-A-Rama Frankenstein figure. Now, I got a pretty good deal on that. But those 3 pieces there are new. And also the blow mold, the candy containers with the candy in them there. The heads are by Tyco Toys. They were probably sold by Rosen or maybe Rosbro. And there's the 3 smaller ones behind. But this is the first time I'm showing those on a video. The bigger heads by Tyco Toys with the candy tubes. And there's more stuff. Oh yeah, that little guy's new. That's 3D printed monster Nick of the creature. That one's 6 inches tall, so it's like twice as tall as the original, or a little bit taller than the original monster Nicks. Basil Gogos prints are cool. And we go over here and there's one of those witch hangers from Dollar Tree. Still love those, even though they are just cheap monster toys. I love cheap monster toys. More stuff down here. There's a mummy mask. And those blow molds are new from Target. Let's see if I can... see if I can... Oh boy. Yeah. When I tilt it down, the camera wants to screw up. Hang on a second. This is ridiculous. The perils of trying to do this, instead of using a camera, I'm using a dang laptop carrying it around. I'm gonna light this guy up here. And then this dude here. So there we go. You got to see the blow molds and see the screw up. Alright, now that's a cool thing there. A lot of people have seen that before. That's the Jack Davis Frankenstein monster cutout jointed hanger. Comes with a cool envelope too. I have that upstairs. And there's some of the other blow molds there. That little tombstone there is new. I got that from Target too. Almost all these blow molds I got from Target. There's another one of those Shock Monster candy buckets. And let me see. Let me go over here. Okay, that green pumpkin there in the middle, that's new from Target. That just came out for last Halloween. And I'll see if I can hold the camera and get up here and light that thing up. There we go. I don't have the two bigger ones behind plugged up, so they're not going to be lit for this. And the other stuff. And that's new from Target. That vacuform hanger. And let's see, that guy is new. 5-foot tall pumpkin skeleton. Got him hung up there. So there we go. That pretty much covers all that. Another quick look at the stuff. And yeah, I don't take it down. It's just, I know it's Halloween mostly, but I just like it. I like to look at it, and it stays up. So, that's it. Hope you guys got something out of that, and I'll be back.